Well. It's Super Bowl week. I can't believe the seasons went by this fast. It felt like just yesterday. I was over here watching the Marshawn Lynch what was it? Yeah, Marshawn Lynch commercial with Tostitos and all the chips, getting ready for game day, and we're just here for a home Super Bowl game the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have. Congrats to the Chiefs and the Bucks. Obviously, they proved to be the two best teams this year, and we'll see what happens next year. But before we even get into anything, sorry we left you guys hanging last week. We just thought better just to come back and just give you guys a straight Super Bowl episode. So before we even get into the picks, we're gonna go to essay real quick and explain your Packers falling apart practically.
I don't know what it is with this time of year, the championship game. I think we're just cursed after 2010. I mean, it doesn't hurt as bad as the 2014 game against Seattle, but it still just doesn't make any sense how we can come all this time and we the run game amazing, defensive side. What we thought was going to be the strength in our defensive passing game let us down so bad. I don't understand what type of play call in the history of sports. That's you're not Greg Williams, but now if you got fired anyway, who calls cover one with 8 seconds left? I don't understand who would have a brain to do that. And Brady saw that one on one, Scotty Miller, just like that. And then we see these refs. You don't want to call holding. You want to play it out, NFC Championship game? I understand. Let them play it out. Physical. I have to be consistent with it. Don't just do it when it favors one side. Lazard got holded on twice, one causing a pick. You don't want to call that? Okay. But then when it ends up deciding the game at the end, it makes absolutely zero sense to also call it then. But, at least we made it farther than everyone here, the Ravens fan. They can enjoy their one annual playoff win. It's
Again,
disgusting,
as
but
I'm gonna say
yeah.
this again. It doesn't matter how far you go. We're all at home with no ring, no bling, so it doesn't even matter.
So you better show it. You got to show it on the screen. To be fair, we did it for everybody else. Phase, you got to show it on the screen. We didn't see it because there was no sound when you held it up.
I got you. I say this for all of us. This for all of us, to be honest with you. But
All right.
especially this for you though. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Rogers gets MVP. I'm happy with that, but I really
Hey, the MVP curse. What did I tell you? They don't.
yeah.
If you don't win, if you win MVP, you're not winning the Super Bowl. I've already told you that. You seem to forget it here, but
Yeah.
right, it's all good.
Oh well, we're gonna look to rebuild this offseason and just look to improve. I have nothing else to say.
Well, now that we've gotten the Packers out the way, let's just go to the Super Bowl. We got the GOAT versus the kid. And if anyone doesn't know what a kid means, a kid is a baby goat. So a little nice word play there. So Chiefs are favored by 3.5. Over under is 56.5. It's kind of a lose-lose game because I don't want Brady to win another. Because the next thing will be they want to discredit Bill Belichick even more. But if the Chiefs win, it's a dynasty, and I don't think nobody in the AFC wants to deal with that. So for that reason, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I haven't taken them all. I haven't taken them all playoffs, but this game just feels like it's theirs for the taking. It's in Tampa. I mean, we saw what the refs did in Green Bay. I mean, I had a little issue with that calling that PI at the end because there were way worse PIs on the Packers throughout the game. They didn't call those, but when the game was online, they called those. It just seems like, and they did the same thing for Tom Brady in New England when it was against Kansas City. They called that weird roughing the passer. All he did was touch his helmet, so it just there for the taking. And the Chiefs, they just lost their right tackle, so their tackles are gone. We saw what the Bucks did to a team that had no tackles, i.e., the Packers. As they saw, they sacked Rodgers like 5 times. So if they can get home, if they can get to Mahomes with just 4, that's gonna set them up. And I think they're gonna learn to not have Tyreek 1-on-1 because they remember what happened week 12 where he got like 200 yards in like 1 quarter. They're not gonna do that again. Um, and I just don't. That Chiefs defense, it's not great. They get the job done, but it's too much firepower on that Bucks team. And that Bucks team overall just has better talent. It's just Chiefs had the high end talent. So for all those reasons, I'm gonna take the Bucks to win in a close one. Tom Brady game-winning drive, 27-24, same score as they met. Actually, no, 34-31, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree right here. I don't think the Chiefs are gonna lose this game. They're too stacked at every angle on the offensive side, and their defense is really underappreciated. It's not this really bad defense that they really had 2018 against Brady. Even though this Bucks team is really stacked on offense compared to the offense that Tom Brady had against the Chiefs in 2018 playoff game. This Chiefs team is literally completely perfect. You have weapons. I really don't think if and they decided to press MVS, who's one of the best deep threats in the league, against us, and he burned them twice. And Wise was only able to hit him one time for like a 50-yard touchdown. And we saw what Tyreek Hill did to them last time. I could see the same thing happening again. This Buck secondary isn't really as strong. It wasn't really strong last week, but it's really at this defensive line and the linebacking core where the Bucks really have a good strength at. But Mahomes is just too. He hasn't really slowed down really at any point in this playoffs. He got hurt in the Browns game, but really you saw what they did without him. Andy Reid is not scared to play without him, and Andy Reid with him is just dangerous. This Bucks team they're not gonna be able to match with the Chiefs' firepower. I got the Chiefs winning 31. I'll say 35 to 20, 28. I think it'll be a good offensive game, and Mahomes gets the second ring.
Yeah, this is a hard game to call. I think with most of the Bucks games are going to be high scoring. I don't see what happened earlier in the season happening again. I think this Buck defense is going to come out and show out. I think they're going to play better than they played before. I still think Patrick Mahomes is going to get his points because, Andy Reid, his mind is just amazing. He's the best coach in the NFL. Undoubtedly, he's going to get his points, but it's hard to pick against the GOAT in the Super Bowl. So I think Brady's going to get another ring, going to get number 7. I think he's going to lead the game-winning drive 34-31.
I said before this season, if there's a small chance the Buccaneers make the Super Bowl and Tom Brady makes the Super Bowl, that they were going to win it. Um, it's hard for me to say now because they're going up against one of the best teams in the NFL and a potential dynasty we're talking about in Kansas City. But I'm sticking with my gut. I've gone with the Bucks, this whole playoffs. Against Washington, against New Orleans, against Green Bay. It was all on the road. Yeah, I just feel like what Todd Bowles has been doing, I think he's going to devise up a good game plan. And as long as he doesn't press Tyreek, I think they're going to be fine on defense. Even though Mahomes is going to get he's going to put up points. There's no question about it. But for the offense for the Bucks, I think Brady has to do a better job at protecting the ball. He threw 3 picks against the Green Bay Packers. He didn't throw any against Washington or New Orleans, so I give him credit for that. But I don't give him credit for throwing 3 picks because it was pretty bad. He almost lost them the game. He can't turn over the ball against Mahomes because you turn the ball over against Mahomes, he's gonna make that. So I feel like Brady's gonna do a better job checking the ball. This is the biggest, this is the biggest game of the Bucks' life. A lot of them haven't made the Super Bowl. But Brady's been there 10 times. He knows this. This is his chance to prove everyone wrong once again. I'm gonna say 34-24. I think they win by 2 scores, and they get a late field goal to make it a 10-point game. So.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Brady's just different in the playoffs. That's another reason why I picked him. Is just you can tell he's locked in. Like even though he threw the 3 picks, but you can just tell he's locked in with his teammates. He's talking to them. He's encouraging them. He's motivating them. Like in the locker room, like Devin White was like, "Hey, I didn't get to the Pro Bowl. Kind of upset." And then Brady straight up just told him, he's like, "Hey, we don't need that. We're chasing something else." Like that's what I like in a QB. And that's just how you are. If you're a QB, I think you have to be a leader like that. You gotta motivate, you gotta lock in. He's just a different breed in the playoffs. And actually, I told you last week, and I'm gonna tell you again. You're sitting on the couch with me, and you were laughing, thinking that you guys would win. But hey, you're right with me. I can't talk because I'm on the couch too. I'll see you next year, Ravens versus Packers. But I got the Bucks winning this game. Chiefs are a very good team, complete team, maybe the best team in the league. But I think this Sunday Brady's gonna come out, get his seventh ring, and play next year. Seventh ring, Brady. AB will get a ring. Sorry, Le'Veon Bell, but good, good luck. You were trying to get on the Chiefs just to get a ring chaser. I mean, that's what you got to do when you're in the NFL and the NBA. But hey, AB's about to get that ring. I'm excited for AB, best wide receiver in the league. Don't come for me if I say that, but yeah, he's the best wide receiver in the league. To this day, last year, the year before, I don't care. But these past 5 years, best wide receiver in the league. I know Mr. Ellis, you miss him. I miss him too because I used to see him twice a year. It was fun playing against him. Um, yeah. So let me just go to the score before I just keep on talking. I got the Bucks winning 35-28. I think they're gonna win by a touchdown. I see game-winning drive, but I also see a stopping Mahomes into scoring. So 35-28, Mahomes will try to go down the field, but Bucks defense will stop him, and then they'll win the game. Super Bowl trophy MVP goes to Brady because he led them there, obviously. And Bruce Arians will get a ring.
Who would have thought Bruce Arians win a Super Bowl ring as a head coach? But it's certainly conceivable. January 2002, the Tuck Rule game. 2004, Spygate. Deflategate. And now, Whistlegate. Brady is unbelievably fortunate to be playing in this game. But, I say that every time he gets there. Maybe because I'm sour. Maybe because I'm salty. I really felt like that game was rigged. I did. But at the end of the day, I say that every time. I've said that every single Brady Super Bowl appearance. So what's wrong with me? I'm in denial. That's what's wrong with me. And I heard Jerome Bettis talk about this week on the BMAC and Peterson show. And he said, I had to get to a point when I stopped being competitive against this guy. I got to the point where I could sit back and just acknowledge his greatness because I always denied it, as he said, when I played against him as an opponent. And as a fan, I felt the same way. And I think we're big enough fans and we feel like we matter. Our voice matters. Like we're actually on the field with everybody. We say we. So, once he went to the NFC, I lost the hate a little bit. But it came back on that play. It came back on that play, I say, because I've been there. I've been on that end of Tom Brady so many times, so I know how it feels. But guess what? Tom Brady's getting spanked this week, okay, ladies and gentlemen, because two reasons. Number one, that Green Bay defense crumbled like a rotten piñata, man. I mean, it just crumbled. And Mike Pettine's gone as a result, and probably a year or two too late, They won't make the same mistakes. The Chiefs defense has played sound. Look at how they played last week against the Buffalo offense that was humming pretty good. But I think the big difference in this game is going to come. And there's so many even matchups, so much talent on both sides. But, the way you beat Mahomes is you sit back. You don't beat him by blitzing him and attacking and bringing pressure up the middle. That doesn't really work against Mahomes. So I don't know that Tampa Bay's game necessarily matches them. And you saw it the first time they played. I mean, they got annihilated. I don't expect him to get annihilated this time. I expect Brady to show up, be a gamer, and play an incredible game. He always does in big games, and I'm so jealous because my QB doesn't. So with that said, I'm still going in this game with Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the difference is going to be Sammy Watkins on offense. Sammy Watkins hasn't played this entire playoffs. He's coming back. He's going to be up against the third corner for Tampa. Okay, and what is that third corner for Tampa? I don't even know who it is. I don't know his name. It's like the tight ends for the Patriots. Don't even know his name, right? So I think that's going to be the key matchup in the game. I think it's going to make a difference. It's going to be a close game. I got Kansas City 37-34 in one of the best Super Bowls of all time, and none of our teams are in it. But
I mean, Mr. Ellis, I wouldn't say that your quarterback has won 2 Super Bowls. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, last one 2008, L in 2010. I don't leave it on him, but the last 4 or 5 playoff losses, they've fallen on 7 shoulders. But we'll talk about that later.
Hey, I want to say one more thing. We talk about how the Bucks got annihilated in the regular season. Yeah, Tyreek Hill went off. They went off, but the score was 24-27. The final score. You guys can say garbage yards, garbage points, but
No,
I want
JP, stop it. Once the Chiefs went up 17-9, they went to cruise control. Don't even do this because y'all like doing this argument. They went to cruise control. Really?
I mean,
they went to
Brady was hot. Brady was hot in the second half.
So you think
he got
Andy
the
Reid
ball
will go
back,
cruise control?
he would have scored
Exactly.
drives.
They've cruise control practically most of the season.
That's just me. If they didn't press Tyreek Hill, they would have won that game.
Hey, Face.
Press Tyreek. There's a reason why, because New England does it and they find a way to slow him down. It's just teams don't know how to do it.
Bucks are a different team this Sunday. Bucks are a different team this.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but don't stay here in time. You can have success with Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill has burned the Patriots multiple times.
Hey, and the Patriots have contained them a couple times. Let's not forget that. Contain? You want contain or you want getting destroyed?
Right, but when you add Watkins, in there, you add a weapon that has not been there in 5 or 6 weeks. You know, you add a weapon that you now have to account for in one-on-one coverage, right? So you got to go.
Well,
you got Kelsey.
Yeah, Watkins is actually a good wide receiver.
They didn't have Antonio Brown last week. You could say the same thing about Tampa. They didn't have 8 last week. They didn't have Antoine Winfield last week either. They didn't have 2 other safeties actually.
Wait, they didn't have Antoine Winfield?
So. Yeah. No, he didn't
play. You
guys
still lost?
Yeah. Hey man, what can you do? But I'm gonna be rooting for Brady. You know, that's my guy.
Oh, Brady.
We know.
Hey, Mr. Ellis, I agree with you though. I kind of lost I think I did lose my hate when he went to the NFC. I feel like that pressure is just gone, like from cheating and stuff. And it didn't come back when the flag was thrown. Like I was like, I don't care. He's not in the AFC.
It all came back to me when that flag was thrown, man. Because I was thinking about it. I wanted y'all to win it, man. That all came, dude. All the anger came back to me when that flag was thrown. I was ready to break something in my own house.
Nah, because I wanted SA to feel that
exactly. So you were biased in that moment. If that was Lamar being penalized, I mean the Ravens being penalized,
you just demonstrated.
You would have been in the streets looking for those refs' heads. You would have been worse than everybody here. You would have.
If
you would have
said
a bounty for the head. You would have went to their house.
Like so sad. I would be so sad if the Packers won.
Imagine if Humphrey was called. I mean, Brown was held twice.
Imagine. You can just imagine.
Call on Humphrey. You would have been, bro.
You can just imagine, but you're on the couch with me.
You would have 12 Instagram.
You can imagine.
With their addresses.
You can imagine. Keep on imagining.
Unfortunately, the only team in this group who has beaten Brady in the playoffs is the Ravens. So, you know.
Yeah, with Joe Flacco, not even Lamar Jackson. Joe
Flacco, who has more playoff wins than Drew Brees. Joe Flacco, who has more playoff wins than Drew Brees.
January Joe.
January Joe. Hey, if you're gonna be hot in a month, that's the month to be hot, right?
Flacco elite.
All right, before we end the show, we're gonna do our little team reviews of the regular season. So we're gonna start off with Emmanuel here with his Baltimore Ravens. So what do you think about the season? What do you think about the playoff loss, and what can you do next year probably?
The season was exactly as I predicted. I came on 2 weeks. I said the Ravens will be 11-5. They start off good, come with a little bump in the mid-year, and then they finish off strong. I mean, the COVID thing was big. Yes, that was big. I think that could have really messed up a couple things, maybe. And then, injuries to Calais and Brandon Williams in that 3-game stretch didn't help us a lot. Lamar getting his first playoff win, that was big. I mean, it kind of shut it down a little bit because once he comes back and he drops, I think, almost 20 on the answer. But at that point, everything went real quiet. And with the Bills game, once again, you hear it's all Lamar. That game was not all Lamar. That was a full offensive effort and an offensive breakdown. You had, at times, Lamar making a bad read or a bad throw, like that pick six. Receivers like J.K. Dobbins, running backs, wide receivers dropping the ball. Lamar forced it into a couple places he shouldn't have done it. O-line missing assignments and then missing blocks. Because there were plays there, but O-line and running backs missed blocks, and they got to Lamar too fast. And our right side of our line got obliterated. They literally just killed our right side. So I commend Buffalo for that. They just annihilated us there. But besides our offense really playing bad, that wasn't a game that Baltimore could not win. That wasn't a game. That was just Baltimore's offense shooting themselves in the foot because our defense held the Bills to 10 points. So it wasn't like they were humming. It wasn't like they were playing great. They just didn't make a lot of mistakes like we did. So I'll see what we do in the offseason. We have a lot of defensive free agents like Yannick. I don't think we'll bring back Judon. We'll keep Tyus Bowser because he's way cheaper. He's on a rookie deal, and Judon's not worth $20 million, like I said with CJ Mosley. And we see how CJ Mosley's playing now with the Jets. You don't look $20 million. Um, got Fernell McPhee in free agency. We got a lot of front seven guys in the free agency. But we'll see what we do. I hope we get a receiver, specifically either most likely Allen Robinson or Corey Davis in free agency, or maybe draft Terrence Marshall from LSU and try to get Wyatt Davis from Ohio State because we need linemen specifically because I can't deal with another year of having bad seven problems. So yeah. Yeah, so Faison, what's y'all plan for this year? Y'all think y'all gonna get Mac Jones?
Hopefully not. Alabama quarterbacks are not good in the NFL, and if we draft Mac Jones, I don't know what to say about Bill Belichick and his drafting because he's been a terrible drafter. We know he's the greatest coach of all time, and this and that, but he is a terrible drafter. And I'm not saying this for like Mac Jones' sake, but like to tear him down or whatever. But he has Devontae Smith, he has Najee Harris, he has Jalen Waddle. He's a product of his team, and if he comes to the NFL throwing it to Jacoby Myers, then, you're not going to be an elite quarterback. But it's going to be an interesting offseason for us. This is the first time that I've experienced a losing season, so I got to get used to it. On a wide receiver, we need guys who can get open. We need guys who can gain separation. We need to get a tight end that I actually know his name. It's a lot of problems. We have the 15th pick, so this is what I'm getting ready for. The draft is going to be really, really big for us, and it's going to be really interesting. Next year, hopefully, we can sneak into the playoffs, and it'll be a really interesting offseason. Mr. Ellis, you're going through a terrible, couple of weeks. You're losing to the Browns. We all clowned, but what are your thoughts on this upcoming offseason? Big Ben has questions. Juju Smith-Schuster is a free agent, so
I think that we're finishing last next year. That's what I think. The moves that we've made to start this offseason, basically saying we're retaining Ben. We're going to try to keep status quo. Ben's going to try to bring Pouncey back. And we're going to lose a lot of guys on defense with this salary cap. We're going to lose Cam Sutton. We're going to lose Mike Hilton. Those are two huge pieces that are not easily replaceable that we don't have backups for. Are we going to sign Bud Dupree? Hey, if we sign Bud Dupree, it's a whole different ballgame. But you know what? We ain't going to be able to afford Bud Dupree because we got to pay Ben Roethlisberger. We got to pay a guy who threw 4 INTs, 3 in the first half, against the Cleveland Clowns. We have to pay Ben Roethlisberger $41 million, 1/5 of our salary cap. No other team in this division has that problem. Cleveland doesn't have that problem. Baltimore doesn't have that problem. Cincinnati doesn't have that problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting on a huge albatross here, a $41 million albatross of doom. Ben's done. Ben's finished. Ben's work ethic is not one of leadership that can guide a team anymore. It's fake leadership. It's not real. And it was evident by the way he showed up in that game. You're not willing to line up behind center. You're not willing to take a snap from underneath a Hall of Fame center. You don't think a Hall of Fame center can block for you. So you're going to be in shotgun on every play on the first play. And oh, by the way, you're going to have Matt Filer instead of Kevin Dodson, who's played great all season. You have Matt Filer coming in after 6 weeks of not playing. That play defined two things. It defined our season, of what could have been and what wasn't because of poor decisions by players and coaches, bonehead decisions. And number two, it defined that we do not see what the problems are. And we've shown that the last 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to finish last in the AFC North for the first time ever. Mark it down.
I don't know about finishing in last place. Maybe third. I don't know about last place.
I just want to say one more very brief thing, and that is that I don't care what happens next year because we aren't winning the Super Bowl anyway. I want Alan Faneca in the Hall of Fame because no guard belongs in the Hall of Fame more than Alan Faneca. And if Alan Faneca doesn't get in, just blow up the Hall of Fame. I mean, just whatever you do, just end the idea of the Hall of Fame because it's ridiculous that Steve Hutchinson is in the Hall of Fame and Brian Urlacher is in the Hall of Fame. Two ridiculous people that do not belong. And you got Alan Faneca. Big Red 2021, baby.
So what are your plans? Are you guys gonna maybe draft another quarterback to replace Rodgers again, or are you guys actually gonna get Rodgers help on defense this time?
I mean, King is gone. We're gonna have a couple. Preston Smith is absolutely gone. We're gonna hopefully sign a corner who can just guard his side of the field like Jair can. But if you look at the beginning of the season, we made our predictions. I said the Packers 12-4, and everybody laughed. And now here we are. We're 13-3, one game away from the Super Bowl. It wasn't the ending that I wanted or anyone wanted, but still, we performed much better than what everybody thought, especially after the draft that we had, which I hated. And everybody thought, oh, this team might be fighting for second in the division. But I just hope we can get – the receiver is really not as big of a need as it was last year. MVS stepped up. Lazard stepped up. It would be nice to have one in the free agency, like you said, Allen Robinson. But we just need to have a corner who can line up on his side of the field like Jair can. And if we can do that, we can finally sign a linebacker to replace Preston Smith. I think we're in good shape to run for another Super Bowl next year. But
Hey, Aaron Jones is a free agent, so he might be
free agency
that's gonna be a big.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of players to re-sign. Our All-Pro center is free agent. Aaron Jones is a free agent. If we can re-sign those two, I'll be really happy. But with Jones declining what was rumored a top 5 contract, I really don't think we got the money to. But I would be really happy if we could re-sign Jones. It's been really amazing.
And say, is there any chance, and I mean any remote chance in your mind, that they would even consider trading Aaron Rodgers? Because obviously, you heard this morning San Francisco is offering the lion's share. I mean, do you think what was your percentage chance of them?
I gave it a -5 because the second that Rodgers leaves this building, this organization, this is going to turn into a dumpster fire. Jordan Love stepping up. This man hasn't even been active for a single game. They know what this organization stands upon, and that man leaves. This whole Devontae is going to waste. David Bakhtiari is going to waste. Jair is going to waste. All this all-pro talent, all this 7 Pro Bowls that you just got are going to waste. If we can re-sign these players, go for another one next year, we have a really, really good chance. The second they have any idea of trading Rodgers, it's over.
What about Juju? What about Juju in Green Bay?
I've seen that he's been wearing a Packer jersey in his streams. So,
hey, that's a quarterback that'll actually throw him the ball.
Yeah, so
unlike the other one he played,
he'd be really good number 2. Imagine you saw what he was number 2 with AB, and now Devontae was been pretty amazing.
Imagine what he did with a good quarterback.
Yeah,
any good quarterback. He sure didn't have one this year.
If there's if we're talking about like trading Aaron Rodgers, if there's a small chance that Aaron Rodgers gets traded, I think he gets a bigger haul than Deshaun Watson, to be honest with you, because we're talking about a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think
Deshaun Watson has a long, you could really build upon. Right now, Rodgers is win now. You have a 3-year frame, and any team like the Niners who could do that will work up other teams. You could say win now. Yeah, you go all in for Rodgers, but the Packers are in win now. They're in the complete mode to just win. They have been for the past 10 years. They failed to do so. They only have a couple years left. Not waste these couple years.
Hey, and what's it called? We're all fans of the Pat McAfee show, so we gotta give big credit to Aaron Rodgers for actually showing up last Tuesday. And what's it called? I did not expect him to be on that to be there on, but he was like, yeah, no doubt I'm gonna be on that show. So I just gotta give credit to him. He's such a great player, even better person. Ocezi, we gotta talk to you about your Baltimore Ravens, man. Of course, the loss against Buffalo was really on your mind, but you had a better mindset of saying, it's a loss. We got to go forward. So what are your thoughts on in this season, positives, negatives, and what about next season?
First off, going to the Buffalo game, I think that was just really smart by the Bills. Orlando Brown moved to left tackle, and our right side was pretty exposed. McCart can't snap a ball. We had a rookie there. DJ Fluke was also starting. Those guys are just not that good. So, that was a good game plan by the Bills. I think that Lamar, like one underrated aspect of his game is that he masked a lot of like the problems on offense. I don't know if you guys remember, but before Lamar took over, we were 4-5. And then right after that, he went 6-1, 14-2, 11-4. That's why I don't really understand all this talk about Lamar inherited a good team. The Ravens are so good as the team. Like, he's doing this. He's our system. Lamar is the Ravens. There's no Ravens without Lamar. And I think that he should get props for that. We have I won't say a lot of holes to fix, but we have a number of things we need to do. I think we definitely have to get Lamar a number one target, first of all. I think that we don't have to really go like big name like everybody's saying, like Allen Robinson. I feel like if we get a better scheme or something like that, it's gonna help Lamar. Because if you watch a film, I was watching film on the Ravens passing game. I watched Kurt Warner. I watched a few other guys. It's just not there. Like, he literally has nobody to throw to, and I don't get the notion that Lamar can't throw or he's run first. If you guys watched the Ravens game, if you saw the game against the Bills, he was literally people were running after him. He's still looking down the field. People are on his back. He's still looking down the field. So, like, I think we need to give him some help. I don't understand Orlando Brown tweeting I'm a left tackle because he wants left tackle money. I mean, your dad played for the Ravens. Come on, man. We've just paid Ronnie Stanley not much money. Then tweet that. I hope that doesn't mess up the locker room chemistry. But yeah, we need to get a receiver. We need to sign some of our D-line back. I feel like the draft has a lot of talent. The Costa, I feel like he can make something work. Just got to move on to next year. Hopefully next year can be our year. Lamar's going to improve. And before I end, I want to talk about Hollywood. I think he had a really good postseason. Last few games in the season. I think he proved everybody here wrong, including me. Hopefully he can build on that. So yeah, go Ravens. What about you?
Definitely me proven wrong on that.
So JP, go ahead.
Yeah, we had a good season, ups and downs. I'm so happy he got his first win. Proud of him. Just more to come. I just hope we get a Super Bowl with him just because just amount of haters he has. Like, I just want him to get a Super Bowl just so the haters can be quiet. Like, yeah, it's a good accomplishment and everything, but just for the haters to be quiet, I guess that's the only thing he needs to do. 23-year-old, he got MVP, first team All Pro, Pro Bowl. I can just go on. Broke his own rushing record. Like, he can just. It's straight though. I mean, a lot of people are haters like SA and other people outside this world, but it's all good. We had a good season. I hope we got a good receiver, and Marquise Brown keep on proving people wrong. Cause hey, you're just like almost like your cousin, man. You guys break out when you guys need to break out, and he does that in the playoffs. 2 years straight, over 100 yards for only 6-7 receptions, and that's good because we needed him. Like those short passes, and then he gains all those yards in the Titans game. I loved it, and I'm happy for him too. Keep on eating, and I know Lamar will come back stronger because that's just what he does. Like he says, he's like, I just work on the little differences that makes me better. And I can tell you from today, mark my words, he's not gonna hold the ball as much as he did this past season because he's gonna practice on that. Like, he needs to learn to, as soon as he snaps the ball, read the defense and know, like, throw the ball quickly. That's his problem, and that's where the sacks come. That's what the Bills did to us. And yeah, some of the plays could have been designed better, like that against the Titans, like Mark Andrews and Hollywood both going deep, collapsing. Like Lamar can't throw that. Hollywood burned him, but a QB can't throw that. Like, so it's hard for Lamar to do what he does. But hey, he'll get better. Everybody will get better. Packers will get better. Ravens will get better. I don't see Steelers going last, Mr. Ellis. I think you're just upset with them right now. It happens. Y'all lost to the
We'll see.
Clowns, but it's still gonna be Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, Browns, in my opinion, because Bengals are gonna come back strong. Joe Burrow is a dog,
I think
guys.
so too. Look, man, if you have a QB, you have a chance. And right now, we're the only team in the division without a quarterback that was successful.
That's true.
In
Yeah.
the second half of the season. Now, granted,
Yeah.
Burrow got injured, but he was trending upwards, certainly.
No, you're right, but again, I don't see you guys going last or third. It's still gonna be Ravens, Steelers, or Steelers, Ravens. That's how I see it. Unless, but you're right.
I see my son being
big...
13 before we make. He's 8 right now, or sorry, he's 5 right now. I see him being 13 before we make the playoffs again.
Nah, I don't see that.
And
You guys do need Bud to breathe, though. He's a dog, man.
Look, when you're underneath that, look at the Ravens. Look how bad the Ravens were those 2 or 3 years where they were under that huge albatross with Flacco, right? They couldn't sign anybody, right? They couldn't extend certain guys they wanted to extend that they lost, and so we've been under that with Ben for 10 years, his last 2 contracts. And it's really hard to operate off of that, even though we've drafted well. It's hard to operate off of that. And the other side of it is, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm so incensed beyond belief that my front office is basically deciding who my coaches are going to be.
Yeah.
He wanted Pep Hamilton to run the offense. We don't pay assistant coaches. We have the number 32nd in the league in pay for assistant coaches by millions. Look it up.
Damn.
We have no high-profile coaches aside from Tomlin. Just like what they did with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, you expect him to do it all, right?
Yeah.
Well, they expect Tomlin to do it all too. Tom was coaching the defense in the playoffs. He was calling every play. Are you kidding me? That's inexcusable.
That's ridiculous.
Keith Butler has been there for 15 years, and he can't call a defense in a playoff game against the Cleveland Clowns.
Well, they're not clowns anymore. They got the B right.
No. They're clowns because we blew it. They're not clowns because they're good, Emmanuel. They're clowns because we blew it. They're clowns because we handed them the football game.
They played pretty good this season. Give them their props where it's due. They had a good season.
They did against a weak schedule, but next year the schedule's tougher for everybody in the AFC North.
We said the same thing for the Packers. We said the same things for the Ravens. Just give the Browns their credit for this season.
The Browns aren't the Packers or the Ravens, though. Peep that, though. Listen to what Mr. Ellis is saying, though. Every time they played a good team, what happened? And
that's true.
It showed up in the playoffs.
Only credit I give is what they did against us. They stood with us. They stayed with us. That was the best football I've seen from Baker Mayfield, except for that interception.
You guys had some injuries. You guys had some injuries in the second half.
We had some.
Hey, JP. Don't act like he didn't target Tramon Williams, 39-year-old.
That's true.
Every single time.
Soon as our slot cornerback got injured, Jimmy Smith, you saw that people.
But that's smart from Baker, though. You can't take that away. That's
smart.
Exactly. Sure. No, just like you can say that he targeted, the Steelers' fourth corner that was playing, with no Joe Hayden and no Bud Dupree and no Bush. And Highsmith gets hurt on the second play of the game and comes out.
You guys didn't even have Bush. I forgot.
No Bush, no Dupree, no Hayden. Highsmith, our second string linebacker, who played well, gets knocked out the second play of the game.
You can't say give credit.
You can't give Kevin Stefanski a good year that he went 11-5. Wow.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Okay.
Fine.
Emmanuel, I would give Stefanski credit because he did a great job with the roster given to him. But when you can't win against Chad Henne in the playoffs, if you can't stop the Chiefs on 4th and 1, bro, what's the point? Chad Henne, bro.
How many teams are stopping the Chiefs on 4th and 1? Stop doing this. That's like everyone with the Ravens saying. No. That's like everyone saying the Ravens are the Chiefs are the Ravens.
3rd and 20.
3rd and 13. 3rd and 13. You're gonna let Chad Henne run the ball?
Like what?
What's your point there now, Emmanuel? Tell me.
Come on.
Okay, there's no point there. That's
true. You got no.
That's bad by them, but I don't want to get beat by Tyreek or Travis Kelce either. So
it's all good, guys. It was
all right, Emmanuel, take us out, man. Take us out. Unfortunately, we're cut for time. Take us out, Emmanuel.
I can't wait to see what happens Sunday. Let's see what happens. I I hope Mahomes doesn't win. I don't want to deal with another dynasty. We just got rid of New England, so we'll see what
The
happens
Chiefs.
Sunday. And
I already
yeah,
know.
Let's
we
go
out.
Bucks, baby.
Gonna be a
AB
great
gets
game.
his ring.
Super Bowl MVP, Sammy Watkins. Mark it down. Super Bowl MVP, Sammy Watkins. Number 2 receivers are often MVPs. Just saying. Number 2 receivers are often MVPs. And even though he's
Santonio
3,
Hall.
yeah. I'm gonna use the JP term. Don't sleep on Sammy.
Yes, sir.
Well, think about it. He's succeeded on big stages before, whether it's college or pros.
Super Bowl. Yeah, even last year in the playoffs, he was very, very good.
Yep. Hey, it's been a great year with you guys. Tremendous.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Take care, everybody. Class of 2021, baby.
Peace.